Hey everybody, it's Susan again, and I'm back in Denver. Feels like it's been, well, a whole summer. And I've been back for a couple of days and practicing again, and I took 4 amazing classes in the last 2 days with 2 just out of this world teachers, Megs and Allison, at the Vital Center for Body Mind Health in Denver in the Highlands. And I'm just so excited to be a student again. And I'm interested in, of course, you know, we're still in the beginning of the new year. We're a week and a half in, and if you don't know, each week, each 7-day cycle has its own energy. So the first week within this first 28-day moon is about really feeling what is being drawn to you. It's like an initiation. The sun rises in the east, and the first week of every moon is like a sunrise. It's like a beginning point where you get to see what's being drawn to you, what momentum is being built, and it just and almost without effort happening, right? So you don't even have to try in the first week. You just want to be super open and aware. Awareness is curative, I was reminded of today. To just be aware of what is going on, what cycles are happening around you, what is being repeated. And when I come back to the mat, of course, when I first come back to the mat again as this role of a student, of course I practiced on my own while I was gone, but being able to be a student again, it's a completely different experience. And it's so important to be able to go back to the basics, to go back to the elementals, to go back to the seeds of what it is we're planting, and even to fertilize the soil so what seeds we put in are be able to root, to take root. And here we are in the year of the crystal seed. So it's really important to notice what it is that we're planting, how we are putting energy into the soil of our lives, the soil of our tissues of our body, the soil of our mind, and the soil of our heart, how our spirit feels. And every time you come back to the basics, every time you come back to something new, rather to something familiar, you see what your patterns are, what your tendencies are, what your habitual conditionings have been. And that's so important, is to be able to look at ourselves discerningly each time we go through a cycle that looks similar, like placing your hands on the floor in tabletop position. How do you place your hands every single time? Looking at those basic things, not doing it for anybody else, not doing fancy poses or fancy things outside of your body to make an impact on anyone else, but really making those subtle changes and subtle adjustments to affect yourself. So as I'm thinking about all these waves and cycles that we're returning to every time we come back to the mat, and of course being at the beginning of the new year and having some of you have reached out to me interested more in natural time, I've decided to do an online workshop to discuss the cycles and the energy of natural time a week from today, next Sunday. So if you're interested in being a part of that, I can send you the link and I'll get you information on that. But just follow the post below this video, and I'll post information throughout the week. But it'll be about an hour long, and we'll talk about the tribes and the tones and what last year was and how this year is going to be significantly different than what last year was. Often I find that looking back at cycles in hindsight is one of the best ways to learn this calendar, and looking back at what your patterns are as far as how your body has been held is really important to be able to move forward. So just feeling how those cycles can influence how we move forward and how we project ourselves into the next expression and iteration of ourselves is super important. So as I said, I'm going to be teaching a workshop on natural time. It's on virtual, so no matter where you are in the world, you can join me a week from today. If you're interested, just like or follow the posts underneath this video, and I'll send out some information about that. I'm super excited to share this. It's really a beautiful way of looking at time, getting away from an antiquated Gregorian calendar, which was sort of put on us. We didn't choose at the beginning of our lives, and now we can choose a different way of looking, a different calendar to follow. So I'm excited to share this next week. Let me know if you have any questions about it, and I'm sure I'll talk to you again soon. So much love. Bye.